Sean Strickland just got banned from fighting in the UFC. And this time, it's not just for something he said. A wild cage-side incident has flipped his career upside down, and it might have just killed the Adesanya rematch. Sean Strickland has been temporarily suspended by the Nevada Athletic Commission following a highly controversial outburst at the Tuff N Uff 145 event. During the amateur MMA event, Strickland was cornering his teammate, Miles Hunsinger, alongside fellow UFC fighter Chris Curtis. After Hunsinger lost via submission to Luis Hernandez, the victorious Hernandez celebrated in a way that appeared to mock Strickland and Curtis. In response, Strickland and Curtis stormed the cage, and Strickland was seen throwing a punch at Hernandez in a chaotic moment that shocked fans and officials alike. Although Hernandez chose not to press charges and did not request disciplinary action, the Nevada Commission decided to step in due to the serious breach of conduct and fighter safety protocols. Strickland has now been issued a temporary suspension, which bars him from fighting under the Commission's jurisdiction, including in the UFC, until further notice. His case will be reviewed in more detail at the Commission's upcoming hearing, where the suspension is expected to be extended or made official with additional sanctions. Until then, Strickland is effectively banned from competing, putting his MMA career on hold and adding another chapter to his already controversial legacy. If you love real-time UFC updates and drama like this, hit that subscribe button right now. MMA Thread drops 2 to 3 updates daily, so you'll never miss a headline. Despite being one of the most outspoken and controversial figures in MMA, this incident marks the first time Sean Strickland has faced an official disciplinary suspension in his UFC career. Known for his unfiltered trash talk, politically charged opinions, and aggressive persona both inside and outside the cage, Strickland has frequently drawn attention and criticism for his behavior. However, until now, none of his antics had resulted in formal punishment from any athletic commission. The key difference this time was his physical action, not just words. Storming into the cage post-fight and throwing a punch at a fellow fighter, even in a non-UFC setting, crosses a clear line of professional conduct. Athletic commissions, especially Nevada's, take these incidents seriously as they represent violations of fighters' safety, sportsmanship, and event security. That this is his first suspension doesn't mean it will be treated lightly. In fact, the commission may use this opportunity to set a precedent and remind fighters that there are boundaries, even for veterans with long careers. Whether the punishment will be a fine, extended suspension, or other penalties remains to be seen, but already represents a major blemish on Strickland's record and could influence how UFC and future opponents view him going forward. Before the suspension, a potential rematch between Sean Strickland and Israel Adesanya was gaining traction. Their first encounter in September 2023 ended with Strickland shockingly dominating Adesanya over 5 rounds, earning him the UFC Middleweight Championship and handing Adesanya one of the most lopsided defeats of his career. Ever since, fans and analysts speculated about a possible second clash between the two, especially with Adesanya publicly showing interest in avenging the loss. However, several factors have now made that rematch increasingly unlikely. First, Strickland's recent loss to current champion Dricus Du Plessis at UFC 312 put him out of immediate title contention. Then came the suspension, which has completely frozen his activity inside the octagon and thrown his future timeline into question. At the same time, Adesanya's own plans seem to be shifting. He has hinted at possibly moving on from the middleweight division, or at least exploring different matchups that make more sense competitively or financially. With Strickland's sideline and his recent performances less convincing, the UFC may now look elsewhere for marquee fights involving Adesanya. All of this means that the once-hyped rematch is no longer a top priority or even feasible in the near future, especially if Strickland's suspension is extended or if he's forced to take a long layoff. Sean's future is hanging in the balance, and if you want the fastest MMA news, the next update will be here before you know it. Subscribe to MMA Thread and join the fight.